Grandma Knew by L.
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
I keep a straight face. Oh, damn it. I was on. Okay. Hey, good evening, everybody. Wonderful Friday night. I cock up. We were supposed to pose and look very cool, but I couldn't. I just broke into a smile. The weakest link right here. My name is Eugene Tay, your host for tonight's show. Along with me, we have.
Hi guys, this is Kim here, your voice for the podcast. If you have yet to check it out, please do. And also, we have a new segment on our YouTube whereby it's called Confessi Seram. So again, if you have not checked it out, please do.
It's Kim's voice. Right? So if you ladies can't get enough of Kim, check those shows out. Podcast every Monday. Thursday is Confessi Seram. It's spoken in Malay, but we have English subtitles. And that beautiful lady on my left, on my right.
Left, right. We're all getting used to this new format and stuff. I'm Sonia, and I guess I'm the super rational one.
You guess. I think you are. That's Joe, bad boy from Down Under. Unfortunately, there's something wrong with his connection. The minute he goes into video mode, everything just freezes up. But I think we can hear his vocals. Joe, can you hear us? Can say something. So usually, I'm sure.
I think it's just bad connection.
Oh, that must be the hand. You never pray, you never say excuse me.
Is it really?
Because it's Hungry Ghosts Festival soon lah. Australia start first. Yeah, I guess that must be the issue lah.
And Carlos Cole said, wait, Kim is in color today.
Yay! Finally, hopefully this stays until the end of time. But I don't want to jinx it. But yeah, thank
Don't
God.
speak too soon.
Yeah, that's why.
Do you notice something? Kim goes on color. I have no video.
Yeah. when you go on video, you got no
What
color.
is why?
Small sacrifice. You go back to black and white, Joe can come on.
Have you ever heard of a Chinese proverb that says 一山不能藏二虎? One mountain cannot have two tigers. So
Yes,
that's why.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, so that's why lah.
Then how do they mate? That's why tigers all extinct lah.
Yeah, that's why there is a continuous of the proverb which was not written by the Confucius.
What was it? What was the continuous?
It's
And
一山不能藏二虎，除非是一公一母。
Oh.
Unless it's male and female. See?
I always thought they just went down,
Get
get off the mountain, go into the valley, finish whatever you
See,
got to do and go back
That's
up.
why. Now my life motive is to sambong what Confucius does. So I'm gonna go with the name confusing.
So Kim, in terms of the tigers, do you want to be top or do you want to be bottom?
I don't want to talk about it here because I'm underneath Eugene.
You just have to look up, is there any hanging, any banging? That's it.
That's right.
Okay, so this is SC. This does not stand for stand-up comedy, but I think sometimes it does. This is Supernatural Confessions, where we tell you ghost stories every Friday. And these are real confessions from real people. And the hosts come from different parts of the world. Kim comes from Kuching, Sarawak. Bad boy Joe is from down under Perth. Sonia is in Admiralty, and that feels Sembawang, and that feels really like a different country altogether. In fact, Kuching sounds a lot nearer. And I'm in Tampines / Pasir Ris, which is probably the other end of the arse world that nobody wants to go and visit, unless it's for the Suicide Tower. So we will keep you entertained for the next 1.5 hours, telling you stories, dissecting the stories, giving you alternate points of views, and sometimes totally unscripted, funny things happen. And today, Kara was very cute. We asked Kara, would you like to... Kara Wong, I think you guys would have heard of Kara Wong before. A very scary Tanglin Halt confession. The first thing we asked her, would you like to do narration for us? She says, can, on one condition. What has this show to do with Kim's Bird I hear all along?
I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, okay, from the Facebook group, enough lah. Why do you have to come to WhatsApp event? So like, yeah.
Your bird precedes you lah.
Yeah, I do not know whether I should be proud or not. I do not know whether I should go back and tell my parents this kind of news or not. So like, your son had made it lah. So now across the sea, people are talking about his bebet. So
You
Hey,
have a
they will be
famous
so proud.
appendage.
If Pornhub is going to sponsor Supernatural Confessions because of you, I'm taking it, okay? Okay, so what do we have today, Kim? So just a lot of credit today. I would say probably for the very first time, ladies and gentlemen, I did pretty much nothing today with regards to collecting of the confessions and producing of the show. Big props to Kim for producing the confessions, getting it narrated, putting it together, and big props to Joe, who's staring at you in the eye right now. He was the one who brings the featured confession today that's going to be on YouTube at 11:30. And it is a video that got us saying WTF. And we can't wait to share that with you. But before that, we have a couple of other confessions that we want to share with you first and talk about. First one is called Restless. Who is that by, Kim? Tell us a bit more.
Restless is from
Natalie Tara Devi.
Yeah, Natalie Tara Devi, which is posted in our group. And this is actually a very short confession. But I put it in tonight's confession is because I saw a lot of other comments, people commenting about that particular place because it was mentioned in that confession. So we'll play the confession and I want to hear from, obviously here, Eugene, Sonia, and the rest of the people watching us. And I want to know what happened else in that particular location.
All right, let's take a listen from Natalie. This one is Restless.
Restless by Natalie Tara Devi. I'm going to share another story from my tuition days. Back in 2011, I started a tutoring assignment at Block 349, Yishun Avenue 11. The block was like a U-shaped building. First few visits, I did not notice anything strange about the area, but somehow, there was something funny about the lift. Whenever we were in it, and when the door was about to close, it would suddenly spring open, but no one had pressed the button. There was also one time when a man got into the same lift with me. He looked like he was a resident of the block. We were both in the elevator when suddenly, both of us turned to look at each other. We felt as if something had just come in, and it just did not feel right. I did ask him at the time, "Do you feel something not right in this block?" He said yes. He can feel and sense. Later, I also had a few visions of bloodstains on the floor of the block. Like a quick flash of seeing a pool of bloodstains, and when I looked again, there was nothing. Anyways, my student, he was Sec 4 at the time, he told me that sometimes he was afraid to nap in the afternoon, as he often got nightmares. I assured him not to worry. I will say a silent prayer for all living in his unit for peace. Again, I felt maybe there was something going on in the block that I didn't know about. The student had moved in about 3 years ago in 2009. When I got back, I googled the block number and the street and found out that it was the block where a grisly murder had happened in 2008. A man had killed his lover and her flatmate. One of them was actually hanging off the ledge of the kitchen, and he chopped her fingers off, so she fell to her death. It was a very sad discovery to know that such a violent end happened. I don't think my student was renting the same unit where the murder happened. It was probably the whole block affected by the energy of the violent death. Whatever faith we are, we have to do our prayers and hope that there is closure for these restless souls, so they may come to a peaceful rest.
Hang on.
Hang again, but I can hear you guys. That's all right.
Okay.
Hey, but this screen is nicer though. They're not. It looks like as if he's talking to us. Okay, we are back on live. Okay, guys, behind the scene, we are still trying to fix Joe because we want to have 2 tigers, 2 birds on the show. So, yeah, but it seems like it's not working.
Okay.
2 tigers, 2 birds.
Yeah.
Okay, so all I can say is this murder or this gruesome murder took place in Yishun.
A place where a lot of stuff happens. It's like the portal to somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why a lot of stuff happened there?
Well, because legend has it that underneath the land of Ishun, sleeping demon has been there for hundreds of years, waiting to arise. So bad things happen in that kind of place.
Okay, when Sonia laughed, Joe laughed. I don't buy your bush.
What's that? What's
A
actually
lot of
was that? I don't
stories,
know.
a lot of stories. A lot of stories come out of Yishun. It's got a bad rep because there was a cat abuser from there, and then a couple of other stories. So every time people hear the word Yishun, it's always, with a negative connotation.
Okay.
I do not know what to say about that story is because we often hear that like one of the comment that I picked up is from Janie Ashley. Janie say, okay, quick question. If you are murdered at a location, will your soul haunt the place or the location for eternity? Eugene, want to take this?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So sometimes we talk about where the haunting will happen. So there's a few theories here, right? Will the haunting take place where the body finally is laid to rest, or will the haunting take place where the murder is taking place, not where not the actual death for it to be haunted, but the murder segment, the murder scene, the crime scene. Reason for this is in parapsychology or parascience, we emit a huge amount of energy imprint into the spot. So when we are sad or we're angry, there's an extreme outburst of emotion that we leave an imprint in the place. This is also why in some areas, that when there's a lot of anger, a lot of death, the entire block becomes a magnet for a lot of these spiritual entities to get drawn to that place. Because once a place has a very dark past, it tends to linger behind. So for her death, for example, it could be at a spot where she's hanging for her dear life and her fingers getting chopped off one by one. That's where the extreme trauma happened and it leaves an imprint in that place. So what could possibly happen is when the new tenants come in to the house, they might feel very uncomfortable in that spot and they cannot say why, because the chi there or the energy is just very off, very odd. Disconcerting. They might also see a replay of the lady jumping off the flat or falling down the flat or hear the screams. And this is again very much in line with horror stories from Europe where you see people throwing themselves off the castle wall. So the haunting is not where the body has landed, but at the point of time where you decided to take your life. That's where the most amount of negative energy is emitted. Will it be haunted for all eternity? No. Even spirits and energy have certain timeline before it fades off. So when a place has a trauma, it's very high spike, and as the years goes by, or when you have new people coming in, blessing the place, vibrations take over, it's pretty much like you have dirty water in a pond. But if you keep pouring fresh water over and over time, the pond will be filled with more fresh water than dirty water, and it will come to a point where you can actually drink from that pond. So no, it's not for eternity, and I do believe that very strongly the place will be uncomfortable for some people, not to the point where it may be haunted, but there's a high chance that it could be.
Okay, for Sonia, as someone super rational, what is your take on this?
So I think that it's easy to be influenced by stories that we keep hearing. And if it's repeated often enough, it moves from just hearsay to folklore and, into sort of a legend. That's how legends are born, right? If you tell a story enough, then it becomes real. I'm actually very interested in what Eugene had to say about the energy dissipating over time. So are there specific actions that people can take to sort of dilute the effect?
Yeah, that's why you pray, right? You pray, you chant. Prayers and mantras. They are a form of chant that creates vibration, positive vibration. You can also use a singing bowl. You can use incense. You can use a few other methods from various different religions according to your own faith to cleanse the place. And when we say we cleanse the place, what does it actually mean? It's about converting the negative vibrations to positive vibrations. And that is why you have church groups coming together, holding hands, singing, praying, setting out good intention. All these acts, these songs, this music, this intention creates a positive energy in the place. Now, that being said, there are some places that are, of course, extremely haunted or extremely violent in the death, and that kind of negativity might be overpowering the positive vibes. And that's why you need to bring like an expert in. Pretty much like getting sick, right? You can take Panadol, you can self-medicate, you'll be okay. But there's some
And
illnesses...
sometimes you just need to go to the hospital.
Exactly. And that's the same thing. You can singing bowl all you want, and most times, most cases, most houses, you would reset the vibrations to something positive. But if the place is extremely haunted, like in this case, your singing bowl, your faithless intent might not be enough. Right? So that's how it is.
What about the frozen Joe? By the way, guys, Joe is not frozen. Yeah, it's because there's a video issue on his side, so we can only hear him. So we only can feature his profile picture. We wanted to put a dark picture, but he would no.
You know what? I don't think I've got anything to say because Eugene sounded like he studied for the exam, and he gave such an explanation today. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, right. You took my point. I actually wanted to say I have nothing else to say because Eugene already covered the whole thing. And you take that part, and now I have nothing to say. Okay, guys, now we'll move on to the next confession.
That's scary, man.
Okay, is there anything else you wanted to top up from what you heard or what comments you have picked up?
Top up.
Pop up.
Joe.
Nothing at all. Yeah. Part of it is because I missed the entire story. Due to the freaking... So I was hoping no one noticed that.
See lah,
You know what happens, right? When you go to school and you forgot to do your homework, and then the teacher asks you a question. So, Mr. Dakota, what was? Can you come out and do your presentation? Then you have to stall, right? You have to go. Yeah, John's presentation was quite nice. I agreed with him.
He's just trying to stop. I thought Kim was your wingman. He's always like backing you up. You guys like always running away together. What happened, Kim?
Yeah, Kim didn't help me today at all.
He couldn't read your body language, lah.
You know what happened? The moment he got a color on his video screen, he didn't give two shits about me anymore.
Forget about you.
This is what people say lah. Grow wing already lah. Grow wing already. Know how to
grow
fly
colour
already. No, got color already.
Now Kim got color already lah. Don't care about strength. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna look at Joe's picture lah. It's gonna haunt me at night lah. So I'm gonna look at it. But I put up the confession or the story from Natalie is because I want to know what exactly happened at Yishun. But in the comment section, there's a lot of people who say,
what did you read?
As Yishunites or as people who stays in Yishun is actually fine.
It is just another area in Singapore, and
Yeah,
at
just
one
another
time,
area.
most places in Singapore had graves. Most of our estates are built on exhumed graves, and so maybe all of Singapore is a portal to hell.
I
whole
would
Singapore.
believe that. No, Sonia, you tell me that, I will believe it.
I don't know because I don't want to say it's because once the border open, I'm supposed to go in Singapore and visit you guys. I don't want to like your parents go away, boy. I'm going to Portal of Hell. I don't want to go have a visit.
Singapore sits on ancient burial ground.
Along the way, maybe universal lah. Okay, so I think that pretty much covered the first story. We have a lot of stories, by the way. So
Okay, we should just go on, right?
Yeah.
Next one, I think I'll intro the next one because the next one is voiced by Kim himself, the voice of SC. Next one is called Treman. Is it Treman? Treman, not Treman. Okay, Treman confession by Felix, voiced by the voice of SC, Kim.
Treman by Felix. Durian season is here. Malaysian and I bet Singaporean too have tasted durian at least once in their life. After that one taste, either you hate it or you love it till death. Luckily, I'm in the category of loving the taste, for my family owns a piece of land that is filled with durian trees. Whether it is planted by the older generations, that I'm not sure. Here is my story that happens while I collect durians late at night. Whenever the season is here, my cousin and I are the ones that got extremely excited for we get to go into the jungle that is usually just a few kilometers away from my house to collect durians. After collection, we get to sell the durian to the kampong nearby, and that would be our extra pocket money. Although on paper our family owns the land, but when the durian season arrives, people that lives nearby to the land will also comes in to pick up the durians. Why not? It's like collecting gold nugget. Hence why my cousin and I, we need to spend nights in the jungle. At least those neighbors know the owner is around, and this particular night happens many years ago. Like any other season, we would sit in this small hut in the middle of the land that was built by our elderly with just some drinking water, an oil lamp for the hut, has no electricity connection, and some buns that we brought from home. Till late at night, we would talk softly, for we need to listen to the sound of the durian dropping. Then we would rush out heading towards the direction of the sound with our torchlight to pick it up before someone else does. Pretty much the whole night it's about the same stuff. That night we got quite a good harvest. We expect 500 ringgit Malaysia of sales already in our pocket. But since the sun is yet to rise, we decided to continue till the incident happened. While having conversation on how we're gonna spend our money after selling the durian, we heard footsteps outside the hut. Almost immediately, the both of us stopped talking. We got up slowly, for we thought it's some neighboring kid that might have wandered into our area. We thought the fella might sneak in to steal our durians that we left outside. With torchlight in both of our hands, we head towards the door. What we saw in front of our eyes remain unknown till today. We saw a man standing looking at a pile of durians, not moving. He was dressed like any orang kampung or villagers that we would normally encounter, but his head was a shape of a big, flat, round tray. The both of us stunned and could not move a limb as our torchlight shone onto the being. The entity was looking at us. We were looking at him, all of us motionless. Before we could react and run for our lives, instead, the entity turned and dashed into the darkness among the trees. When it disappeared, my cousin and I turned and started running towards home. We couldn't be bothered with things and the durians left behind. We were too scared to do anything else. To today, we do not know what we saw that night, but the story will always come about when we had our family reunion. Today, the land no longer belongs to the family, but the memory of the Trayman will always stay with us. Jeng jeng.
What to say? I like this character, the Tray Man. This is
Tray
something
Man.
very refreshing from the usual Pontianak, Pocong, Penanggal story, right?
Never heard of a Trayman before.
Right.
Yeah, this is the first.
See. So I wanna hear it from the country whereby they might not have a lot of durian. So Joe, what do you? It's Trayman. It's not Trayman. It's not the brother of Ip Man. So what do you think about the Trayman?
Like this is where my rational mind kind of comes to the fore, because he was driving and he saw this, right?
He was at the jungle. He was at the hut.
He was at the hut and he saw, how you guys were talking about the Sundal Bolong,
Yeah.
and how I said I have no reference to even comment on. Like, how could it have been a mask?
Oh, okay.
Could it have been, because I can't think of anything that would kind of replicate that. It's not that he saw a movement in the corner of his eye. It wasn't that he was drunk. I don't know. He might have been, but to see like a rectangle thing in the space of someone's head, that guy has to have had to be wearing a mask. I can't think of anything else. I mean, what ghost appears with a tray on its head?
Okay.
Or in place of its head?
Okay.
What was it? Do you know much about this story? Was it flat Was it three-dimensional? Did the thing turn? Did it have patterns on it, like beautiful flowers? I don't know what.
Oh, okay. Actually, what Felix saw was it's a face. It's just that the whole face or the whole head is flat and round like a tray. But then it's just the whole thing is a face, but it's just flat and round. Because you see, when we were looking at him, so obviously he has this flat round face, right? Then because they were looking at him and they wanted to dash, but the thing is that the thing turned and the thing ran first. But when the thing turned, then that's when they realize, oh shit, the head is actually flat. That's
right.
That's how they can tell But the thing is, I do not know whether it happens in a lot of other stories, but this entity runs from the both of them.
Okay. Eugene, don't get excited, right? If I were to say this was the Hantu, okay, I'm wondering. No, I'm not saying it is. Remember, I'm not on the group.
The mere suggestion. Look at his face.
Yeah, look at his face.
I'm
It's
looking
just
at you
lit
right
up.
now.
Okay, if it was the Hantu, I'm wondering if this was the ghost of someone that passed away in the jungle, and maybe a tree fell on his head. You have like,
I was thinking that
have
too.
like, you have ikan penyet, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is like kepala penyet.
You just took my answer. I got nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder.
I never thought about that actually. And even when I was producing the confession, I actually go and Google search hantu tray, but it's stupid lah.
And that's why.
Yeah, Esther Tan reckons that the thing's head was flat. Could it be he died because the durian smashed flat on his head? Hey, possible, right?
Could be, but we have never heard a durian smashes somebody's head and causes it to fall flat lah. But the tree,
flat, no.
Yeah, the tree is possible. The tree is possible. So,
but I'm not saying it's a Hantu. I'm saying if it was the Hantu, then it could possibly
There's your
be
caveat. You always
that's my caveat. That's my disclaimer at the end.
You can see.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so for Eugene, it's the same. That's what you thought.
I
about
was
it when you
thinking that because it's in a plantation, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I do agree
Forest.
that on one hand, it could be the spirit of a man who has died there because a tree fell on him. But why would that spirit run away when they see humans? So I'm beginning to think that spirit is more of an intelligent entity than the spirit of a deceased wandering the plantation, seeking revenge against the Durian tree, because he was in some way trying to protect his durians, almost, if you get that sense. So I would think that this might actually be one of those nature spirits, the spirits who are from the land. It could be like the Orambunian, the elves, or nature spirit, or any other form of entities, spiritual entities, not human nature. Call it a jinn if you might, but it belongs to the land, and it finds that the fruit of the land belongs to them, and the humans are the one who's stealing from their land. And why this spirit appears as two-dimension? This could also be because it's in some way, when you are scared or when you see these things, your mind tends to, in the darkness or in that moment, you get a glimpse and you think you see a two-dimensional creature, like a flat creature. But this creature, as I said, if you've been listening to some of my previous dissection on Hantu, these Hantu take on a certain visage, right? To allow humans to see them, or they are actually energy source, and humans' mind, our mental perception, places this image onto them so that our mind can understand what we see. Otherwise, we just see maybe willow whips, or we don't even see anything. So this entity was not about to get caught. It was not intended to get caught. But when it spots a human and it runs away, at that point in time, what the humans were seeing was just that two-dimensional mask that this entity was wearing. Actually, it was just an entity of a spiritual nature. And that two-dimensional visage was in their mind.
Okay. I agree with the it's one of the nature's being. because it's in the forest, it's in the plantation, there's a lot of trees, yeah, that could be possible. That is just, maybe it's just one of the form that they allow human to see them like that. What about the super rational Sonia?
In many areas, 20s, 30s, 40s, regardless of where in Asia, or at some point, villages, right? And if you're talking about having durians in forests, durians are cultivated trees. You'd have to plant them. So that gives me a very clear insight into what that area must have been at one time, a village. Did he describe any other trees in the area, or he only spoke about durian?
Yeah, there are other trees, obviously, but they are just more durian trees in that area.
Yes, then it sounds like it was once a village that planted many of those kinds of fruit trees, rambutan, chiku, that sort of a thing. And durian was a favorite to be planted. In a very old area, it could have been an old area, with the durian trees and stuff. Somebody could have passed away in that area a long time ago.
So you are saying
Accident.
that it
My
is
phone, I tell you.
Yes, go on.
That it could
be
be an energy that you guys are trying to trap me already. See, I lost my train of thought.
Okay,
So
I help you
unfair.
out. I help you get your train of thought back. You said there was a
No,
village
you keep
a long time
quiet.
ago. Someone might have
Shush,
died.
shush, shush, shush.
Go on from there. Take it from there.
Yes, it could be an energy. And I like how you expressed it as they need to present themselves in a form that others would accept or know or be familiar with. And I also like what Joe said about passed away. Passed away because of
tree.
a tree falling on his head or something. Yeah. But I don't know. For all you know, it's just somebody who doesn't want their durian being taken. So they dress up old and they just so happen to look that way.
I think it's a lot easier if you just
Frightened
go
all of
with,
you from their
you know,
durian
It
plantation.
must
It
be
must be the hunter.
Easier for you. It's not easy for
You look
me.
like you're struggling to find the words not to say.
Yeah.
I was in a durian plantation just today, and I was looking around thinking to myself, just
How many spirits
In
are
the-
walking around?
in the 20s and 30s. No, I didn't feel anything. I didn't have any headaches. But, just trying to place myself back in those days when the villagers planted this. And these are super old durian trees. And you can tell just from its size. I was checking to see if there were any more durian. But at one point, there were people living there. You can see remnants of that past. And at the same time, you see people, they have these gunny sacks that they leave around because they collect the durians. And these people are super possessive of what they find. If they are camping there all day, then it's going to be my tree. And durians fall when it's cool, early morning, early evening, that sort of timing. And they get very possessive. And are they willing to go to that extreme and protect their durians?
Well, let's look at-
and would they resort to such antics to scare people away?
Well, that kind of antics will work against me because I would be out of that forest no time.
Yeah. Kim, did this take place? At what time of the day did it take place?
I just remember the story. He told me it was late. He said it was late at night. Remember, he said he wanted
There
he
you
wanted
go.
he wanted to collect, but they already got a good harvest.
Yes.
But the next thing they know, like, oh, the sun has yet to rise. Let's wait for a few more rounds.
4
and
a.m.
then-
probably.
And
around.
that's it. I'm
Yeah.
going with there are others there who are trying to scare off other people. Now, why did that thing run away? Because if, let's say, for instance, the two foragers get enough courage and chase this thing, they're going to find that this is just another person in the forest who's trying to scare them off.
See lah, Kim, why you give her extra
She
material?
almost tipped over to the fence and
Yeah,
now
you
it's gone back.
lah.
I gotta empower the woman to voice their own opinion.
Alah.
I'm
I was
not.
going to say it whether you empowered me or not.
Okay, to the comment section, I think there's two that I want to read. Maybe Joe, you could read the one from Iman Arisa. I think that was I read.
Yep.
Sonia, why did you read the one from Elaine Ong?
I'm
Okay.
not in. Maybe one
Not
of you
in?
read
Okay,
first? Yeah.
So I got one here from Iman Risa. Also could be a former farmer who planted the tree. Then he died before the durian ripe, so he don't want others to take his durian.
Yeah, I'm going with that one. Elaine Ong says perhaps the entity projected itself in the form of a human, but it didn't have enough mastery of energy to protect a human head. To project a human head is like a noob spirit.
You wanted me to read someone's. Whose was it?
Elaine Ong, I just read it already.
Don't say
Okay.
noob lah.
Oh,
Don't
you
say noob lah.
find something else that you want. Find something. There's a lot more.
Level not high enough. Level not high enough. Not fully trained. Not fully trained.
I want to read what you said. That's why some ladies love licking durians. Which ladies you know love licking durian?
No, you got to see
Are we still
what's
talking
the
about
comment
durians?
too. Because
Oh my
someone said durian smells like gooch, and gooch is a slang. Okay, so
What's gooch?
Gooch is a slang for that perineum area between the testicles and the anus. It's a very nice spot where some ladies like to lick and some men like to get licked in that spot. So if durian smells like gooch, then that explains why some ladies love to lick durians.
Welcome to Super Sexual Confessions.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's Supernatural Confession is brought to you by Pornhub. Remember, if you need a hand, you need Pornhub.
Oh my god.
or if you need a hand, you might need two.
Well, let's go on to the third confession for this evening. The third confession we have this is called Makcik Urut by Enda Junaida.
Yeah.
Voice over but none other than Kara Wong. You have not heard of this name for a while. If you're new to Supernatural Confessions, Kara Wong has one of the most kick-ass confessions of 2021 and is about Tanglin Hall. Go and check out the past episodes for our live show. You will hear it there. But this is Kara Wong lending her voice to narrating a confession from Enda Junaida. This one is called Makcik Urut.
With nice sound effect.
Brought to you by Kim.
The following story is called Makcik Urut by Inda Junaida. The incident happened a long time ago. I was walking home from work when I fell down and hurt my left ankle. Seeing me limping, my mom suggested to seek help from her childhood friend who was operating a home-based massage service for such injuries. She lived a few blocks away from our HDB flat, and one night I went over by myself. The treatment went well. The makcik was skillful. However, I noticed she had peculiar behavior. Her eyes wandered about, scanning around unnecessarily. Anyway, she told me that I need to come back the next day and the day after for full recovery, so I did as I was told. I got better on every visit and was able to walk properly as normal after the first 3 sessions. However, strange things started to happen to me. I started having nightmares. The dream was always about a dragon-like Barongan chasing after me. I told my husband about my dreams. He told me to recite the 3 Quranic verses before going to bed. I told my mom too, telling her that my instinct pointed to her friend who treated my ankle. My mom shook her head in disbelief as she knew her friend as a religious person. I was determined to prove that my instinct was right. A few days later, the makcik called my home. She asked me whether everything was fine. I told her that I was all good, and then she asked me whether I experienced bad dreams. If I had, it meant that I accidentally kicked and hurt something invisible. In my heart, I was saying, "There you go, I knew it, it's her. She's talking nonsense and trying to fool me." But then I was curious. I wanted to know what she was up to. I also wanted to find out about her reaction to my nightmares. So I told her about my dream being chased by a demonic-like creature. As I expected, she told me to come over for treatment, as she also provides service to treat people who encounter with the supernatural. Curious and being silly, I visited her after work. I remember it was a Saturday afternoon and I wanted to know the nature of the treatment. It wasn't a treatment at all. It was just some strange instructions that I chose not to remember, and the handover of a tangkal, which is a talisman. She told me to put it under my pillow. The moment I saw the tangkal, which was an object wrapped with aluminium folder, I knew she was up to no good. I suspected she was working with the devil for a living. Not to offend her, I took it and went home. Along the way home, I threw it in the bin. That night, I felt restless and uneasy. My head felt heavy, and the feeling was like walking above the ground. So I laid on my bed and I was about to doze off, and suddenly I felt like I was being strangled. I opened my eyes and saw a pair of huge, hairy hands in the air strangling my neck. I knew I wasn't dreaming, it was real. Luckily, my husband was standing next to the bed. He saw me struggling to breathe. He did not see the hairy hands, but he knew something was wrong. He knew about me always having paranormal episodes, and I have experienced sleep paralysis. He quickly locked the bedroom door and took the Quran. Sitting on the bed next to me, he put his palm on my forehead while the other hand was on the Quran that was on the pillow. Then he began reciting Surah Al-Baqarah. The first few verses of the surah put the room in distress. The hairy hands vanished. My husband could feel the energy in the room, but I could see what was happening. There was a strong wind, tornado-like, spinning everything around us. The shelves, the wardrobe, and so on. It was like a horror movie. As the recitation came to an end, the strong wind disappeared in a blink of an eye. Everything was in place back to normal. After completing reciting the surah, my husband handed me drinking water. I drank a bit and dozed off. The episode drained my energy. The next morning, I told him about the tangkal and I got a good scolding from him. Lesson learned not to accept things from people who make a pact with the devil. Also, not to be inquisitive about other people's affairs, as it may put oneself into trouble. As the proverb says, curiosity killed the cat.
Oh. This one is a lot of very black magic occult kind of thing. Tangkal. Okay, so for those of you who do not know what a tangkal is, let's ask our super rational host. Any of you guys know what a tangkal is?
Sonia, Joe,
Talisman?
a talisman. Yeah.
Talisman.
So tangkal is like an amulet, a talisman, and it comes in various forms. But usually, it has it's more of an Indonesian kind of object.
Right.
Yeah, but so for those of you who just joined us and missed part of the story, Kim, could you give us the Cliff Notes version of it?
Okay. Anda went to this Makcik Urut, whereby it's supposed to be the mom's friend lah. So it's supposed to be safe, right? So she went.
So you might want to tell us what a Makcik Urut is. Not everyone knows Makcik.
Oh, Makcik Urut, it's an older lady that helped you do massage, the traditional massage lah. So
Is it usually it's after women give birth, after they bersalin, right? After they've delivered their baby, is it?
Actually, there's a few types. The one that I know, the one that in my place, I know there's a few types. There's one who specializes in women after giving birth. There are one who actually did like specialize in injuries, like any injuries, your sports injuries, you twisted your ankle when you run, when you hike. They are also the one who massages you because you think there is something wrong with you due to black magic, things like that too. So they specialize in the field. Whereby in the story, this makcik or this elderly woman actually massages Endah because she was injured, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the next thing you know, she actually suspect there is something wrong because she sees this Barongan, which is we will feature in our Know Your Hunter later on. This Barongan appeared in her dream, so she felt that as if the makcik or the women actually kind of like made her into I do not know whether this is right or not, but made her into the target for the devil. So she felt that as if the makcik or the women actually met a pact with the devil, and then you're like, okay, you can take this lady. So I've put something on her, so this will be your target. So she felt that so this lady is something off. But she told her mother. My mother said no, and then after that, the episode happened whereby there are things who come to her at her place, and that is when after she took the tangkal or the talisman from the auntie, and luckily the husband is there. The husband helped it, and she said her advice is not to take this kind of stuff easily from stranger or people that you really don't know. And curiosity kills the pussy. I mean, curiosity kills the cat. Sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of this urut thing, right? Makcik urut. I've been to Indonesia. I think this was either in Jogja or Bandung area. I can't remember where. One of the not Jakarta area. And I was there on work, business trip. So obviously, being interested in the occult, I would ask my not colleagues, how would you say, the partners, right? And say, is there any spiritual things around here that you could bring me? I would love to see or love to interview someone. He says there is a medicine man in this place that can really he look at you and he will know what's wrong with you. Like if you have a rheumatism, he will urut the rheumatism away, or if you have certain ailment, he can urut away this ailment. So I was like, okay, why not? So I went with a bunch of guys, and they would go down, and I'm not bullshitting you. I'm not saying this just for the sake of being cheeky about that. But one of the highest the highest reason that men would go and find this pakcik is to have a stronger manhood. So they will go for this urut thing to get a stronger blood flow to get a stronger erection. And a woman will go to them because they want to solve like heartache. And sometimes when your body is not performing right, when you're not feeling right, when you're depressed, you find that you have aches, you have illness and all that. So he helps to ease all this, right? So I went down to him, and I had one request. And this request was more important than having a stronger manhood. And the request was, can you help me stop snoring? Right? Because that was, to me, like, if nobody would want to sleep with you because you snore too loud, then manhood or not, that's moot point. You're not going to get someone in your bed. So I said, can you help me remove my snore? He says, anything is possible, no worries. And he started to urut my throat, right? And he gave me something to drink, something he stirred, like he took a cup and he chanted over it, and he asked me to drink. The snore never go away. Still yeah. I felt sick, like high fever for the next 3 days, but nope, snore still remains. So I don't know about I know
of course you got a
story.
fever. God knows what he breathed into your. Maybe he had a cold or something, and all of his droplets went into his water, and then you drank it nicely.
So I've heard of this.
You should ask for the manhood instead, lah. So yeah.
I should have, right? Maybe then you have to. No. Baby holding an apple. So this whole topic about the urut thing, I've heard of it before, but I cannot say that for first-hand experience I have successfully gone for one. But yes, there is the belief that these people actually do dabble in the dark arts. Not all of them, but some.
For me, I do experience the same thing too. I do know a makcik. Actually, I used to go to her at least every once a month to get massages and stuff like that. And she works from home. So we will always go to me and my friend. We will schedule an appointment to visit her at her home. She's like 60 something, 70. But the amazing thing about this auntie is when she urut you, right? She would tell you what is wrong with you. I mean, like, it sounds professional, but at some point you're like, how did you actually know? So like when she urut, then she will like, recently you sleep only a few hours a day, is it? Then you're like, okay lah.
That one no need to feel your body. I just look at your eyes also.
Yes. Correct. But then the next thing she would say, oh, you also switch on aircon and you don't wear shirt to sleep recently, is it? I mean, like, how would you know?
I think it's a very clever guess, and it's very lucky guess as well. You know how all of these foot massages that you go for, and then they take especially great pleasure when they press a certain spot, right? And then you somehow react. You can't tell that you're reacting, but you may have winced. And then they know that pressure point it correlates to another part of your body. And they get a lot of information out of.
Sure.
Yes. So could that have been something they're looking
I'm going to try. I got some of these skills myself. I've learned that from the pakcik. So, next time when Joe is not feeling well, I'll say things like, Joe, because you come out of the toilet, your head is wet, you never towel your hair dry. That's why, then that's where the wind come in. Yeah. Am I right? That you don't usually...
Angin.
I think you're discriminating against bald people.
That's why.
It's discrimination, bro.
No. I'm solving a problem here.
You are boldest. I do not know about Enda's story. I do not know whether the makcik has anything wrong with her or not. I cannot tell. But yeah, what do the rational team
This side,
think?
this
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of agree with what Sonia is saying. Like, I think the masseurs, they become a little bit like mini psychologists. You know, like when they urut your body, they be asking you like, so how's the family at home? You know, and then you start talking to them, and then before you know it, you tell them the whole story. So they have this information. But I want to talk about a story that I heard from India, that there were certain black magic practitioners in Kerala that were able to use pressure points to hypnotize people. So, I think these practices do exist in the world, and
Yes,
you've got to
they
be
do.
so careful who you basically give your body to in terms of massages and stuff.
Yes. Even I've heard of stories like that in Bali even.
I was waiting for someone to actually pop the, you go to a masseuse and then they ask you,
先生啊，你要 special 吗？
yeah, special you want special? Some part of your body very hard, you want me to ease it for you? That one no need,
Bro,
no need to tell.
I have been to so many massages in Bali. I have not once been offered a happy ending. Not once.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about my neck.
Bro, because you know why? I have an honest looking face.
Oh,
Look at that face. Look at that face looking back at you. That static face. That is the face of honesty, bro.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've already covered it with a piece of cloth.
Oh,
so
I
cannot
think
see.
I think the girl look at that face thinking, I think 她喜欢男人的嘞。
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, we just kid. So some of you just entered the
What is
show.
that? What does that mean?
Oh, he's a very bad boy. No, he's like,
Of course. Let's keep it that way.
yeah. Some of you just entered and you wonder why Joe is staring at you. It's because Joe video stream is not working, and we have to use his static image. But you can still hear him. I think the voice is also
because we put a spell on him.
You
That's
sent him
my
a jungle.
that's my come sit on my lap face. Look at that.
Okay, by the way, for the confession just now, I wanted to point out, like, Kara actually commented something which is very, very logic. Kara is the voice for the podcast earlier on. If you missed it, you have to watch the replay. She said that I think the writer was trying to say that instead of just relieving her of her pain, the makcik performed black magic on her so she could make more money off the treatment of the supernatural kind. I do not know where exactly that's the case or not. Yeah. But could be.
okay lah. I mean, okay. So I understand that there's a lot of doubt when it comes to people who dabbles in the occult. But you think of people who got spiritual power, happy want to use black magic on you. I think got a lot of time. It takes effort, takes time, got repercussion. No. But there was, speaking of that kind of thought, right? There was one other case that sort of backs up this kind of reason why people have been doubtful of spiritual practitioners. There was one true story, by the way. It was confessed to me by somebody. I did not record because it was just verbal. Very short. I'm just going to finish this quickly, then we'll go to the next segment. Feng Shui master deliberately create some form of problems in the house so that every year he has to go back and help them cleanse and help them top up the power. But there's one year where the family was not doing too well and they couldn't afford him. He, from his wherever he was from, did a remote attack on the family using a portal that he has already planted in the place. So maybe there might be some truth to why people who are spiritual practitioners might use it for a nefarious deed. I just don't think Makcik Urut, who makes their money from massages, would want to earn an extra bit of healing from doing black magic. I just don't think so.
She could be pretending. She could be pretending to know more. And I mean, what's stopping people from being scam artists in that way? If all you are is a masseuse and you're trying to be a little bit more mystical and trying to sell a couple more services, but who's to say it's real?
Yeah, but then again, the makcik could not, it's just, it doesn't stop at the service, So maybe then, slowly it will start with the service and blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, boy and girl, you need to buy this torchlight. This is one, I sell to you very cheap. Very cheap. This one very cheap. Okay, you pasang this one at room. You see, like that. I tell you, nothing will come already. Only very cheap.
Which is what
How
I'm
much?
saying. You know, it could be a side gig that's very much a scam and
Yeah.
that sort of
Yeah.
a thing,
It
right?
could lead to another thing, right? I mean, it could
Yes.
lead to another thing. The next thing you know, your whole savings are scammed by.
That's
Yeah,
true, that's
I mean, look at it. So I've had the postnatal massages, and some of them are really excellent. But I have 4 kids, so 3 out of 4 told me I had a lot of angin, a lot of wind in my body, and every time they massage me, they would pretend to burp. How did the air transfer from me to you? That you are the one that's burping? That made no.
Osmosis.
Transference of spiritual energy from you.
Yeah, but you see what I mean. But they are good at some things, and then some things I feel are very iffy, and it's very BSE, and and that's all I was interested in. But if they say, oh, we can make you stronger by reciting certain things or performing certain practices, then I'm not interested. And those are like add-ons. How true are those add-ons? I won't know because I didn't take any of the add-ons. And could it be then a case of that as well with this person?
Okay, so previously I thought it was not possible that the auntie was trying to make money off the site doing other things, but then I think about it again. If massage services was so lucrative, then people wouldn't offer special service as the main money earner. Oh yeah, you may be right. But this story leads to something called Barongan. Barongan is okay. Again, I'm going to ask this camp. Have you guys heard of Barongan?
Barongan.
Barongan or
Barongan.
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 I know barang, but I don't know Barongan.
Okay, so for the next segment, Kim will be doing us the honors as he educates us about Barongan in this segment called
Know
Know
your
your
hantu.
hantu.
Okay, in the story earlier on by Anda Junaida, she did mention the word Barongan, right? So this is information about Barongan. So it's a type of art originated from Ponorogo, Jawa Timur, Indonesia. According to legend, there was once a wealthy man in Ponorogo, and among his assets, he also owns 40 horses. One day, he noticed his horse slowly disappearing a few after another till from 40, he is only left with 4. That is when he realized his horses were eaten by a tiger. So he announced to the villagers that whoever can kill the tiger would be highly rewarded. Came the hero of the story, a young man named Bujang Ganong, a student of Kiai Klono Sewandono, that vows to kill the tiger, which he did eventually. After killing the tiger, he weighs the remaining of the tiger and walks back to the wealthy man to present it to him. On the way there, villagers started to walk behind him, admiring the works of the hero, and this is why, in later days, no one would walk in front of the Barongan, no matter your status or your rank. Before Barongan is performed, a ritual to call upon the tiger spirit would be done. Items such as banana, betel leaves, cloves, egg, rice, coffee, and incense would be prepared as offerings to invite the spirit. Then chanting would start to invite the tiger spirit named Joblonko. This is in order to let the performer be possessed by Joblonko in order to make the performance livelier. Talking about dedication, huh? It is also mentioned that the banana used in the ritual, you can see this is how Barongan looks like, would be tasteless after the ritual is done. Joblonko likes to be worshipped and will definitely come when it's called upon, but it is hard to send off and people would need a long time to persuade in order for it to leave. And the musical instruments in performing Barongan are also considered sacred, for it cannot be left at inappropriate places, for it will place by itself if that happens. Now, Barongan is performed as part of Jawa's culture and heritage.
Right.
Yeah. That's all.
So I think the major takeaway that a lot of people have from your story is, you mean the fella only realized something is wrong when he have lost 36 horses out of 40?
Maybe wealthy man very busy, so that's why he don't always look at the horses.
If he's a wealthy man, he would have people looking after different things. And 36 horses, a tiger taking down one horse, it would last him the whole week. He will not need to eat for another week.
That is why it become the Barongan. It's not any normal tiger, you see.
Okay, you know, I
tiger.
have a story from Bali about this, right? So I know you said Java, Kim, but I'm pretty sure they have the Barongan dance in Bali as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I've been doing some research for possibly when all this COVID's finished, a bit of a horror / spiritual tour in Bali. But I was told that the Barongan dance, especially the one that is the really extreme dance, is conducted at sunset and it ends at sunrise, right? And there are a lot of things that actually happen within them. A Balinese told me, and this came from two separate sources, mind you, from a Balinese man and from a cousin of mine a very long time ago, that they sometimes reanimate dead corpses within this dance. Have you guys heard of that before?
Yeah, I've heard of that. But I didn't know it was called Barongan. I know there was a certain dance in Indonesia. There's a lot of dance in Indonesia.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't always remember the names, but reanimating the corpse, that was one that really got me to, wow. If you give it a chance, I would love to go there and actually do a whole documentary series of various Indonesian magic and occult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hella interesting.
There's a kecik dance as well, which is only performed at sunset. There's so many.
I've watched the kecik dance. I remember in Uluwatu.
So that is your Know Your Hantu for this week. As always, Supernatural Confessions give you the lowdown, the information, the intel on everything Hantu. You can get all your information from us. If you want to even submit your stories to us, www.supernaturalconfessions.com. There's so many ways to get to us. Facebook group, Facebook page, website, my number directly, which you can get from the website as well. Facebook Messenger. You can talk to myself, Kim, Sonia, Joe. All of us will be happy to talk to you. You get to pick and choose who you want to talk to. And if we have the time, we would love to meet up if you record a video. We have come to the fourth. Actually, I want to give... Sorry, Kim, you
still want to buy the torchlight. I even say only 1,000 SGD this one.
So cheap Wow.
Can chase away this one. Can chase away.
I need 10,000 lumens.
Only today. Buy one, free one. Only today.
How many lumens?
How many ringgit?
You must give us the specs.
Okay, move on.
Okay, I want to give a big love and shout out to our fans in Australia. There are, in fact, very surprising, quite a number of you. Some of you bought my book. I was very surprised. I didn't even hear your name prior. So I think there's a lot of you guys who are just lurking around, watching, listening, and supporting from the shadows. Thank you very much. Joe, he is our guy in Perth, Australia. He's been conducting interviews there as well. I think, in fact, he just did one a few days ago, right? This lady who contacted us, and then I referred to you.
Yeah, that's right. I actually know I met her for dinner first, just to have a chat and for her to tell me the story. But I'm hoping to have that story maybe ready in 2 to 3 weeks' time. So, and that's a story about a house in the hills in Perth and its connection to Brazilian kind of like black magic.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's right.
Well, that's how they do it down in Australia, where they bring you out for dinner before they get your confessions. In Singapore, I buy you a teh tarik and then you tell me your story.
That's
now
why
you
they call
can't
it
even
down
do it.
under.
You got to take it away and go sit somewhere else.
That's right.
Sonia is still collecting stories from hikers, and if you guys are into hiking, you're into the forest side of things, Sonia is your go-to girl. She will be happy to take your story.
I just collected one today.
Kim is, and also big shout out and a lot of love to a lot of our Malaysian fans. There's been a huge number of confessions coming from Malaysia. Some people were even saying, I'm a Kuching boy. There's this Kuching pride. So Kim, I think you've been doing a good job rallying people from your side and leading a charge from Malaysia. Obviously, Singapore boy, Baba Pranakan, I feel like I'm a little bit more international in this sense. And all of us, really, we love stories coming out from different culture, different backgrounds. So if you have something to share with us, Supernatural Confessions is a place where you would never, I promise you, never feel stupid, judged, or belittled. We don't judge your story. We take your stories and we share them with everyone else on this channel who enjoys listening to it and will want to believe in you. And of course, sometimes what we do is we find other reasons to look at the story from different angles. And that's where the real interesting discussion really takes place. We have one more confession before we bring out the short feature confession that's done by Joel. This one, as with the rest of the 3 other confessions that you heard today, is all produced, sound effects and everything, by Kimi Boy, KBB. The first
KBB doesn't stand for that.
Kim Bad Boy.
It's better than KTV, bro.
Yeah, true. It's better than KTV.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
This one is confessed by Ju Hui and voiced by none other than the very super rational Sonia Kurana. This one is titled Right Before I Sleep.
I am a silent reader all this while, occasionally commented on some of the posts. I thought I should also share my personal experience that happened when I was 22. Not that scary as compared to some of the members' experiences here, but it was the first and only time it happened to me, thank Buddha. So, I was about to turn in one night after surfing the net. I am a night cat and usually have a habit of looking at the time before I go to bed. So this incident happened at 2:30 a.m. Right before I closed my eyes, I felt breathless almost instantly. I couldn't move my limbs and I couldn't open my eyes either. I felt very scared at that time and desperately chanted the name of Guan Yin, hoping a higher power could help me out. Cold sweat ran down my face and I felt really cold at that moment. Finally, it took me a long time to summon that little bit of strength to open my right eye, and what appeared in front of me was a white, luminous hand with long fingers looking like tree branches. Very scary looking fingers. That entity picked up my left hand with her index finger, and at that moment, I felt that I totally lost control of my body. Her hand that I could feel was very cold and sticky. I could hear her breathing very hard at my ears. She blew cold air onto my face. I was in panic mode then, and so I immediately called out for Guan Yin desperately in my heart. After what feels like a few minutes of duration, she suddenly let go of my hand without warning, and I felt my hand literally drop down hard onto my tummy without me controlling it. Then she let out a loud scream. It was clearly a female voice that I remembered. Finally, after all that drama, I managed to open my eyes fully and saw a white figure fly out of my room window. Although seeing that, I didn't dare to move an inch, though now I could feel I could move my body, and needless to say, I was wide awake for a few hours. Plenty of images were running through my head, and questions too. It was a very scary experience for me, and I told some of my friends, as well as my parents, the next day. But no one believed me.
I don't know. When I hear Sonia's confession, everything is like I feel like I get scolded the whole time.
Imagine the person who needs to edit it. I felt like I am being scolded at the time I was editing it. It's like my teacher was telling me, Kim, why are you putting it? Why are you doing it?
I don't know.
This confession. I like, oh.
I think we
Brings
should just
back
do
many
that.
bad memories.
All the PTSD after hearing Sonia narrate.
I was watching my knife being sharpened as I was narrating this. So
see?
I don't know, maybe some of that
See?
tajamness carried
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, it must be like. It must be like. So next time when I ask you to voice our story, I have to call you. Sonia, do you have knife with you? Are you seated down? Do you feel angry?
Would you like a drink? Do I need to turn the aircon on?
I can
Get it all
imagine-
set up for me.
I can
Right?
imagine Kim as he's editing the confession is crying. Why are you yelling at me? Stop yelling at me!
Sonia, before we go forward with this, right?
Yes.
Can I request you say in your best teacher voice, your scariest teacher voice, why didn't you do your homework?
Boys, why didn't you do your homework?
Whoa!
Oh, that's scary. Whoa. Look at that. Nah, I'm going by.
I would say that now everybody can hear it lah. They would feel the fear. Sometimes when we are off, when we are behind the scene, when the confessor or when the stories is ongoing, you can hear Sonia like, boy, it's your time to sleep. Go get ready now.
yeah.
I know she's talking to the sun. I know she's talking to the sun, but I felt it. I felt like I need to go and change and go and sleep now.
Yeah. Your body automatically moves.
Yeah, immediately I wanted to turn and like, yeah, mom. The next thing I know,
Winston Ng says super angry confessions.
Oh my goodness, if she's my teacher, I fainted. It's okay, Sonia, I understand. I had a voice flying overhead too when I was recording National Day rehearsal. Yeah, so Karen was recording and planes were flying overhead. Tough.
No wonder when I edit her voice, I keep on hearing there's a certain sound behind it. I was like, where is this lady at? And for Sonia's voice, there's certain boom sound behind her voice, which I also do not know where it come from. Yeah. Exactly that sound. I do not know where it come from.
Sounds like she's doing Tiger Show. Yeah, she's doing Tiger Show, ping pong show. Pong.
Whoa.
Oh.
I don't know what is that. I don't want to.
Let me confiscate all of this.
Okay.
Hey, sorry, I just want to say something here. So guys, if you enjoyed the confessions and you think that the narration is quite fun to do, we do invite you guys. In fact, right now we are opening up the call again. If you want to narrate for us, you think you have the voice for that, we'll be happy to have you lend us your voice for narration. In fact, Auntie Lulu will be coming back next week. And she actually left a voice recording for you guys. I'm not sure whether I can pass to Alvin in time to load it up later on. Ken, I send you a WhatsApp. You can go and check it out. Auntie Lulu have a message for you guys, and hopefully we can play that later. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Hopefully. So guys, Auntie Lulu is gonna make that special appearance with her voice lah. So everybody love that part of very cherry jolly Auntie Lulu. So yeah.
That's her real name, by the way.
Yeah, let's go back to the story. Who wants to go first with the story?
I'm going to make mine pretty quick, right? When it comes to anything to do with sleep and eyes closing, my mind just keeps going to sleep paralysis, and not so much sleep paralysis, but that kind of, that in-between mode between falling asleep and waking up, right? The other day as I was lying down and sleeping, I opened my eyes and I was in that space, and I looked over to my wife and I thought I saw my cat sitting on top of my wife. And as I gradually woke up, the cat just disappeared. I don't think that was a ghost. I think that's just your mind, playing tricks on you.
Why would you not think that's a hantu? That is straight up hantu material.
Why would that be hantu?
You see a cat on your wife's chest. That could be a spirit, and then when you look up, the cat notices you, it disappears. That is.
But cats are extremely stealthy little creatures.
Exactly.
And Joe, I must say that totally with you on that transition between being awake and you're just about to fall asleep. Some of us don't transit very
That's right.
easily. For me, I don't. It takes me very long. I recently learned active meditation, which refocuses and redirects your thoughts to an actual physical thing that you do. And I was knocked out. It knocked me out completely. So I finally found something that helps me transition between being fully awake to being in deep sleep.
Yeah.
So anything can happen in that time, and that's when your mind races. And to slow it down, I think there's a lot of room for you to imagine things or see things that could be part of your subconscious mind releasing.
Very much so.
I think I know why I don't get haunted in my sleep. Remember I told you just now about vibrations and
your snoring would frighten them all away.
It dissipate all the bad energy.
I have a confession to make. Same. I snore terribly when I sleep. That's why we don't have that kind of episode, lah.
But
perhaps.
to be very fair and honest, I have not heard myself snore. So all this is just what people say. So I can't really fully believe that I snore as bad as they think I snore because I really have not heard it. I just have to take their word for it, lah. So I'm still a bit iffy on this one. I'm not too sure.
I am sure it's because my snore is so loud. Sometimes I woken myself up because of the snore.
But you do understand what causes you to snore.
Yeah,
right?
of course, of
It's
course.
your relaxed throat muscles and stuff. And if you really want to solve that problem, you need to see a doctor.
Not the pakcik lah.
Pakcik
Pakcik
Urut.
Roslan. Pakcik Roslan.
Pakcik tongkat Pak Ali.
Got nothing to do with the urut.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
about
sorry.
when your muscles are totally relaxed, and then I was just explaining this to children how it vibrates, and as the air comes in and leaves, it causes that vibration, and that's basically what a snore is. What is he doing?
I'm just trying to see whether is it because my chin, my this part of my throat is a bit meaty. That's why I have that kind.
It's not so much what's on the outside, Eugene.
It's
It's actually what's in the inside. Because I suffer from sleep apnea, so I need a machine to sleep. And my snoring's completely horrible, so I kind of empathize with that.
Whoa! Imagine me, Eugene, and Joe sleep together.
Oh,
in the
that's
same room.
horrible.
No, imagine the four of us when we go out, when we finally meet up, we go camping. And Sonia's like in the middle tent, and all of us surrounding her.
I would sleep right through it. I sleep like the dead.
They're okay lah. But
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, maybe we will have a confession from the campus nearby lah. Yeah.
Hey,
maybe.
Chu Yong Hock is my campmate. He sleeps in bed 12. I'm sleeping on bed 6. Chu, can you just, for the record, let people know whether do I snore that bad? In fact, Chu himself says he snores himself
Just say
awake.
yes.
Okay, sorry, now it's 11:16. 11:30 is our premiere on YouTube. Very, very exciting episode. Alvin, have you got Auntie Lulu's voice in? This is a message from Auntie Lulu. We're going to play it for you guys especially.
Hello, SC family. I am Geraldine,
Are we
or
playing it?
Auntie Lulu, as some people call me. Tune in next. Hello, SC family. I am Geraldine, or Auntie Lulu, as some people call me. Tune in next week for my 7-month confession. Thank you.
Her laugh at the end.
Do you like it?
Do you like it?
Semangat.
Auntie Lulu is making a comeback and she will be sharing her 7-month story next week. Also, 7 months is on the 8th. That's where we'll share with you all the pantang stories, what not to do, all the tips to survive the month of Hungry Ghosts. Now it's 11:17. The next confession is 7 minutes long. I think we should just go straight to that and give us a bit of time to talk about it before the premiere hits the YouTube. This one is sorry, just give us a bit of preamble on this one, Joe.
So this is a friend of mine, or a cousin's friend, who's become a friend of mine, and he talked about an encounter with a jinn in suburban Western Australia. So I'm not going to spoil it for everyone. Watch the video. Tune in for the premiere because there's a wonderful clip that you guys need to see at the end.
Okay, let's play this clip. Hit it, Alvin.
I don't want this to be taken lightly. You know, I've shown this video to people, my family members and my friends, and bad stuff's happened to them. Yeah, don't look for it, because if you look for it, you might find something looking back, and usually when that thing looks back at you, you're not ready for it. Hey, you got to be really careful in regards to stuff like this, and be mindful, not to let stuff in. Don't open yourself up, because they're out there, and you may think that, oh, you know, this is all bullshit. It's not. Seriously, they're out there. Don't play with it. No matter what religion you are, no matter what belief system or ideologies you have, see someone that knows something about it. For example, if you're a Catholic, you see a priest. If you're a Christian, you see a pastor. And if you're a Buddhist, you see your monk, right? Hopefully, whatever religion you are, you know, God protects you. God looks after you. Protect yourself within your own belief system. We were out, right? We were out in Northbridge with my friend. And he's talking about his work, and I'm like, dude, this is like the second time you've told me. like, is it really haunted? He goes, yeah, bro, you know, a lot of stuff happens there. Like, you know, like the boys won't go there at night. My wife, me, and him drove there. This guy's already starting to feel he's a bit edgy, you know? Like, dude, did you drink too much or what? He goes, nah, bro, I'm good, I'm all right. So I walked in, and then I went, like, it's almost like you sort of, from feeling nothing to feeling real, like, heavy, like, sort of like you're on edge, right? He goes, why don't you go up? I said, before. Just go up, right? So I went up, and I just, you know, just got the phone out, had a look. I didn't say anything, but nothing. Took a couple of pictures, whatever, came down, and you walk down this, probably like a 10-meter corridor to these toilets, right? And I get to this toilet, and the light's blinking, right? He doesn't want to come. So I says, ada orang ke? I don't know why I spoke in Malay. I just spoke in Malay. Ada orang sini ke? And it's like, and this, I got my phone, right? And it's blinking. What I didn't know, side story, there's no power. That light's got no power. And my mate from down the corridor saying, you've had your fun, let's get the fuck out of here. Because get out of here. Let's go, man. I'm done. I didn't know. I'm like, hold on, man. So I started reciting some stuff. I just wanted to see. Yeah, it started flicking. And from flicking, the thing will stay on. And he goes, let's go, man. Now he's coming in through the corridor. He's like, let's go. You've had your fun. I said, what do you mean? It's just, your globe's fucked. He goes, nah, bro, there's no power to it. And then it cut. So as we went out, past the trucks again, and I stopped. I said, dude, what's there, man? There. He's freaking. He's when he goes, the fuck? How do you know? They found bones there. As we were going to the car, I look left, there's a cat. A black cat, right? I thought I was seeing stuff because you could see the eyes of the cat. You know how cat eyes reflect, right? Yeah. But there was no light. That's what got to me. So I go over to this cat. Now I'm like a crazy man now, talking to a cat, right? And each time I got close to this cat, he goes, like wanting to go me, man. And as I was approaching it, it kept on like coming closer to me. So the way I'm seeing it, you're the one that someone here did a deal with, aren't you? My mate's going, just go, man. Just go. My wife's going, let's go. You've had your fun, right? The cat's just eyeing me out, bro. There's teeth and stuff. I'm like, oh, man, fuck. Then I go to him. You know what pisses me off about you, Eugene? Your dad's a piece of shit. I said, your dad wouldn't bow down to mine because your dad's a piece of shit. Why you guys bother us? Because your dad wouldn't bow down to mine, Adam alayhi salam. He was so up himself that he wouldn't bow down to him. Now you guys hold that grudge. I want him to kick it right now. Now he's going back. All right? Now he's going back. And he scoots away. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? I thought, man, fuck you, you get fucked. So then I walk literally 3-4 steps to go back to the car. And I see this plastic chair. It stopped me. I couldn't move. It locked. Yeah, it locked. This chair, it was just, I didn't see anything. It was just a white freaking chair. I felt much, like something was laughing at me. Time went. It was like I was fixated on this chair. And I couldn't look away, right? And all these much weird stuff was going on. I'm like, man, like, I don't know how long I was there, but my mate goes, now he gets out of the car, he runs to me, he goes, I got to show you something. I'm like, what? I don't know, I was like, what, sorry? What? Just go, man. Now it's enough. I'm telling you to fucking go, or I'll hit you. And then I just shook it off, and I was walking back, like, he had to drag me, because I was like walking backwards. I couldn't get that chair. So I get to the car, he goes, you had your fun, right? I want to show you something. We've had all types of people here from so-called witches to priests to Buddhist people to try and cleanse it out, but no one got a reaction. Everyone says it's gone, and that's it. I don't know what you said, but have a look at this. So he pulls up his CCTV. You know that cat? As I was fixated on this chair, you see the cat. CCTV's there on the yard, right? And I'm filming this on his phone. There was no edit. I'm filming it off the CCTV. You see the cat walking. Look at the camera, right? And you see it phase out. When it phases out, it trips an alarm. There's no bullshit. It trips an alarm, and we looked at the time, that's when I saw that thing on the chair. So what I think, when he phased out, he called his boss.
Fine, man, that's the scary part. The picture quality's fine on that phone.
Watch. There's the cat there, right? That's when I was talking to it.
Yeah, where you gonna go? You gonna go? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yes, yeah, watch. Go to my sister's first.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. See, look, it goes, look.
There, you see it goes,
and it's there, it's still there. Yeah, it's still there. It's still there.
Completely gone, man.
For the full video, check out our YouTube channel, 11:30 p.m. That's happening in 5 more minutes. Oh, I love this one. This is a WTF moment for me.
Same here for me, man. When I first watched that video. Now,
same for me as well.
Yep.
And now Kim is hanging as well, not in a
yeah. I thought it's just me.
You know why? 2 tigers. They have 2 tigers. Okay, like just to kind of refocus on this footage and on the story, right? Yeah. So, if each individual parts of the story was taken by themselves, right? Seeing the flickering light, you could probably call it off as electrical failure, or the people who were in the yard didn't realize that there was no power, that there was actually power there, or the fact that he was imagining it, seeing feeling something from the chair, or that even the video might be the effect of low frame rate. Yeah.
Yes.
But I am leading towards what Carl Jung, one of the fathers of psychology, called synchronicity. Taken by themselves, they probably mean very little, but the fact that all of these happen at one, it all grouped together at a single space of time suggests to me that there's something happening here. And if you see the longer video on YouTube Premiere, there are other parts of the story that kind of feed into the story as well. So from my perspective, you can probably debunk each and every single part of it, but taking it as a whole, I think there is something at work here.
Well, Super Rational Sonia, I'm going to pass this on to you because I'm getting the chills from the story, and the way he was confessing his story, that sounds like someone who was traumatized, the whole thing.
Yes, it was very interesting to hear him speak Malay with an Aussie accent.
Macam
is like, right? Like. So I'm with Joe on the fact that if you take each individual incident on its own, not so much to debunk, but more to offer an alternative view. Yes, you could do that for each and every one. But when you put it all together, I'm not quite sure what I just saw. I need to watch it again.
Well, it looks like Hantu is winning today's confession.
Yeah. If at the end of the YouTube Premiere video, I play the footage again, and I also slow it down a little bit and put a spotlight on the cat itself. It is really interesting footage. One of the best that I've seen.
Well, Joe, you brought us a lot of good content. The first time you appeared on our show, you brought us the voice, the chanting.
That was creepy.
From the funeral home. And for you guys who have not heard it, it's on our YouTube channel. You can go and check it out. It's something about a voice recorded on a funeral home, and we have all the reasons to believe that is an authentic clip. And till today, people are still talking about that. No one could give us a clear answer what it's about. And now today, you gave us a video footage of a cat phasing out. And from just the confessions alone, never judge me all you want, but I am, without a doubt, right? This is an evidence of a clear entity caught on camera.
You know how we always say that Australia is the place with the ozone hole. It actually might be the vortex of the other end of the spectrum.
Which is
this story.
Like Whaley say it, Sonia, say it.
Say what? Say something.
But I'm telling you, there's a lot more stories that are going to come out of Perth, and I've told this to Eugene on private chat that there is a very dark, occult, supernatural, and paranormal underbelly to Perth, and even to Western Australia. And I will hopefully in the coming months be uncovering some of that.
Well, do you think it's got anything to do with quite a large demographic of Malays? Or
spot on, Sonia. Perth is a melting pot of cultures, right?
Yes.
You have cultures from all around the world, and people bring their traditions, their spirituality, their beliefs with them,
Yes.
And I will hopefully be talking to members of H's family, maybe at the end of September, when an uncle who is a practitioner comes down from Port Hedland. So I will hopefully have a chat with him and bring more stories to the plate.
I've been to Perth several times, and I have many friends and their families who have migrated from Singapore and settled in Perth. And why Perth? Because it's closer to Singapore. You fly 5-6 hours, and you can shuttle between the two countries. So I know there's a very large demographic of that culture there.
Definitely, and I think H is from Christmas Island, and there's a very large population of Malays in kind of Christmas Island, Cocos Island area.
Yes, I know somebody from. I just wonder, as you speak to people, whether you end up speaking to my friends.
Oh.
Ah.
Well, you'll have to come down here after lockdown.
No, we've got great news. I was reading somewhere in the news that from September on, Singaporeans who have been vaccinated may not need to serve that 14-day stay-home notice when they come back.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed.
Right.
Fingers crossed.
I'm going to interrupt you guys here. We got 45 seconds left on the clock for the premiere starts. So I want to say quick happy birthday to the founder of CGA, Crow Goes Adventurers, Dato' Crow. Happy birthday. His birthday is on the
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
And, we do want to invite all the Australian fans of Supernatural Confessions. Please go talk to Joe. He's our representative there. He represents. And you can see that we have changed our format because the four faces that you see will be the four faces. Hopefully they see for a long time to come. We are your official hosts for Supernatural Confessions. And just big thank you to all the confessors out there who have made this show possible. Fans, of course, who comes in every week to make sure that you tune in and not miss a session. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Now I'm going to say good night and goodbye. Joe, what did you lead the pack?
I am Joe, and I tell you what, there are certainly more questions than there are answers.
And I'm Sonia, and I believe that there is a super rational reason for everything.
And I'm Kim, I'm froze. Okay.
You're frozen.
I'm Kim, so quickly go to YouTube because we have our premiere here. So, and for me, whatever you don't see doesn't mean it's not there.
And my name is Eugene, the host for Supernatural Confessions, a founder and creator as well, telling you that you may think that you're alone, but you know what? You are never truly alone. This is Supernatural Confessions. We'll see you guys again next week. Go straight to our YouTube channels and links right there, and we'll see you guys. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Night.
Good night.
What did you find? You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.